Hi guys, welcome to another video from Mobile Gaming, and today you have my hands. Ooh. As you will have surmised from the thumbnail, this is a review of the Steam Deck. And first of all, I need to do a big shout out to my friend Bungle, who supplied me with the Steam Deck for review. He's a madman. He basically bought one, decided he didn't like it, and gave it to me instead. Good friend to have, but still mad. But thanks anyway. Okay, so the Steam Deck, obviously Valve's entry into the handheld console. It doesn't like being flat. It just loses focus. I don't know what's going on. Focus. Nope. So my hands are going to be here a lot. I've had it for about a weekish right now, and I've managed to do quite a lot with it, and I've formed some opinions that I want to talk to you guys about. Just for size comparison, sorry, I'm going to have to put it down, so we're going to lose focus. Oh, it's better back there. We'll just leave it there. Here it is next to a PSP, a lot bigger than that obviously, and its main sort of competitor I suppose in the Nintendo Switch. As you see, it's bigger than that as well. Oh, camera. I'm sorry if I knock the camera or the microphone. I'm so intertwined with the tripod and the mic armature, I may actually be classified as a cyborg right now. You can see I've got it charging. We'll just take that out and we'll boot it up. This is from power off, so give you a good idea of the boot time. Here we go, lovely little icon on the screen there, which I cannot see on one screen, but I'm having to look past because of the stupid clamp I've got my stupid camera in. Never mind. So yes, this is the 64 gig version, which retails I believe for about £400. 64 gig, it's not much, let's put it that way. The SteamOS will take up some of that, and you'll end up with about 48 to work with on the internal SSD. Oh, here we go. Building up. Ooh. So, as you can see, in terms of I/O, on the top we have, volume switches, 3.5 jack, exhaust for the fan, one USB-C port, a light to tell you when it's charging and when it's charged, and the power button. And on the bottom we have, I don't know if you can see that because I can't see it myself, there it is, a micro SD card slot, which if you buy the 64 gig version like this one, you will definitely be using. This is what is referred to as gaming mode. So in gaming mode, it is basically, think of it as like Steam big screen kind of. So if I press the Steam button, this is, you have all your sort of Steam stuff, so your store, your library, your friends, all of that stuff on. And then on this side you have another button, you press that one, it's more hardware based stuff, so you can set brightness. There is also battery here, so you can see I've got 98% battery, with about 3 hours it's calculating the battery life, so that will go up because it's not doing much. You also have performance overlay, which will give you just a whole bunch of stuff if you want it on. It is actually really bloody good. In terms of that, it's as good as Afterburner, and if you just want a little bit, you can just have, there's your frame rate. We're doing what, 1.4, something like that. Or you can just have like a general one, which displays what your GPU is doing, what your CPU is doing, what your battery is doing, and there you go. Remaining time on your battery, and your frame rate below that, and what your frame times are, which is a lovely little feature. You can also set limits on your frame rate, your refresh rate. You can you can turn on a TDP limit so to conserve battery life, which it does need to do, because I think that's the real elephant in the room. The battery life on this thing isn't great. I've had, if you're running like AAA games, then you're going to get somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours. If you're running streaming games, it's more like 5, and if you're doing emulating games, depending on what you're emulating, obviously. Oh, you can see me. Hello. And if you're emulating games, it's about 4 hours, but it obviously depends on what system you're emulating. So if we go, let's go into my library. Oh, I should have turned that off. Let's turn that off now. Bye bye. There we go. So if we go into library, you can see here, you've got Great on Deck. So my Steam library has 887 games. Not boasting, but there it is. And of those 887, 147 are verified as great on deck. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you actually look in the games, you can see that each game has like a Steam Deck icon and then another one next to it. So you have this one, the Ace Combat 7, which is verified on Steam Deck and will work great. You have Absolver, which has a little cross through it, which means no go on the old Steam Deck, I'm afraid. And then you have Abandoned Ship here, which has a question mark. In other words, Steam hasn't really had time to have a look at that one just yet and can't tell you how it will perform. There is another one. I just need to find a game with it. So there we go. Aliens, Colonial Marines. You can see it's got an eye. So if you go in and you go down to Game Info and then get your details about the compatibility, it will actually tell you what the problem is with it. So in this case, the game's launcher subtool may require the touchscreen or virtual keyboard or have difficult to read text. This game sometimes shows mouse, keyboard, or non-Steam Deck controller icons. Entering some text requires manually invoking the on-screen keyboard. And this game has minor graphics display issues on Steam Deck. So you can go through it and you can say, well, I'm going to put up with all that in order to play it. But it's obviously Colonial Marines, so we won't. So basically, the way that you'll be using this is you'll either be playing games that you've installed onto it, which are these ones for me at the moment. There we go. You will have streaming, because yes, xCloud is a thing on this. You can set it up, and it does actually work quite well. You will have emulation. And finally, you will be able to stream games directly from Steam. So like using a Steam link, essentially. Let's find... Oh, I know one. We'll go down to that one. I have unclaimed rewards, but Bungle's already claimed them, so it just tells me every time. Like a damn tease. Come on, we're almost there, surely. Where are you? There you are. Right, so WWE 2022. We can see that Steam Deck won't run it. And for some reason, it's not partnered up with Blood... Oh, I haven't launched Steam. One moment, I will launch Steam. What a macaroon. Yeah, so in order to stream games from Steam, you kind of need Steam running on your PC. It does need to be connected to the same Wi-Fi network as well, or network in general, I guess. But I mean, with the USB-C port being at the count of 1, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of facility without a USB-C hub. Okay, that's up. So we'll see if we can do it now. Yes, we can. So if we go there and we can pick my desktop, and then we can just go stream, please. It's also outputting on my desktop as well behind me, so that's distracting. Yeah, don't play this in school or anywhere. Try. We can play it in school now with one of these. Aha! How delightful. As you can see, oh look, we can play that, no problem. Yes, stop selling me the things. You know how impulsive I am. I probably won't turn this one up a bit. I was going to turn up a bit, but I probably won't because all these damn songs are licensed. But, so yeah, absolutely fine. Go in here, okay, whatever. BU, Raoul, okay. Big E, whatever, don't care. Just doing it for demonstration purposes. And this game is on, not obviously streaming. So, we can see, pretty good. Oh, the old virtual arena. You remember that? I'll try and get a bit more central, but it's a bit of a lean for me, I'm afraid. Skip. There we go. I ain't played this one. I've got to remove the controls. Oh no! Yep. So if I pause for the moment, And what I can do is get some performance metrics up and off. And you can see, look at that, 60 frames per second. And we're pulling 7 watts, so it reckons we'll be about 5.5 hours, which isn't bad at all. Yes, well, that's quite enough of that. I'm not really paying attention, but we just exit game. Fire that, yes, continue, and we're out. And that is the game streaming. Obviously, if we play, it is touchscreen, so I don't have to go up the menu if I don't want to, which is good. Well, then you write down the W's. Let's turn this bad boy back off for the moment. So if you obviously don't want to stream a game, you want to play it on the go, then you do have installed games. These are on the SD card. Obviously not quite as nippy as the internal SSD, but still it runs fine. It is a little bit, takes a little bit more time to install, but they do run fine. Speaking of running fine, let's get him back on. So this is not being powered by the PC. This is all the Steam Deck's hardware. You will see the remaining time plummet as the wattage goes up, which is a really nice touch that it will show you what you're actually pulling from the battery overall. Because obviously it's got an APU in it. It's not got a discrete graphics card or anything like that. It's all off of AMD's inbuilt GPUs into their CPUs, which is quite well done. One good thing to note is the battery will actually charge faster than it discharges under all circumstances if you're using the supplied charger that came with it. I think I can probably turn this one up a bit. There we go. Maybe I shouldn't have. Ah! So let's get in game, see what it's all about. I haven't played this in a while, so yeah, I'm going to be terrible at it and get killed instantly, I suspect. But one thing I did notice is that I used my phone charger on it just as a test. It will charge it, but it will be slow charging, and you will probably pull more power than you're actually putting in. So it will just sort of delay the draining of the battery, if you like. As you can see, we're now drawing almost 25 watts, and we've got an hour and a half of playtime. And we're getting, you know, not great frame rates. You know, certainly not 60, but we can tweak things down in the settings, depending on how much you want to lose. Oh no. Yeah, boy. Oh god, there's another one. What hit me? Something hit me. Ah! I can't hit the buttons! What's the shield? Never mind. Okay, that's all good. So as you can see, you're not going to get a whole bunch of time if you're not on charge, because you're going to get like an hour and a half, which is not great. But as I said, you can tweak games down, so it's like doing less work. You can see I'm not maxing out the GPU or the CPU right now, but it is pulling enough power to severely decrease the battery life. So let's come out of that. Obviously, less complex games that it has to like... Oh, there's our... I'll just pull up. I can hear the fan. The fan is audible. It's not the most egregious fan I've ever heard in my life, but it is noticeable. And I did... On the first day I got it, I was concerned that it was raining outside because of the... I thought it was the weather. I'm dumb. So we come out of that... Alright, we'll do Xbox streaming in a minute. Emulation is possible to set up. You have to do it through the desktop mode, which we will be looking at in a moment. It's actually really easy because it's almost like it expects you to do it. And it's no problems whatsoever. You just basically can install all of the emulators that you want. See, I've got 12 installed, although I don't have, you know, games for all 12 installed. But you have your, like, a lot of your bigger ones like PCSX2, DuckStation, and I think a lot of it's done by Emulation Station as well, and Dolphin. And you got RetroArch and things like that. You've even got the PS3 emulator, but I was not putting PS3 size images on here because damn, Interestingly enough, I just basically put games on here that I really like that I already have. So yeah, we'll leave it on for the minute. We'll leave that on for the minute. So if we look at, let's do Super Nintendo. We'll do Final Fight, I guess, or one of them. That's Final Fight. So we can just get an idea at the battery usage for this. And Nintendo be suing my ass. Shut up, music. So you can see we're only drawing, at the moment, 7.2 watts. Yeah. So just getting a gameplay, see if that affects it. I doubt it will. Oh, can't use the stick. So there you go, we're still drawing 7 watts, so it's going to give us like 5.5 hours. Well, 5 hours 20. Oh, God. Get smacked by the first bad guy. So you can see you're going to have pretty good fun if you like SNES games. Oh, come here. Yeah, I got you. Anyway. So we just, once again, Steam button, and you just exit the game, continue. You can, there is an overarching sort of menu for emulation, so you can go in there and then access all your games that way, or you can use collections, which is what I'm doing. Right, but let's go for something a little bit more powerful. Let us try some Smackdown 2. You may have noticed a theme in my game collection. Oh, doesn't that noise just tingle your bits? I don't know if you can hear that in the microphone. Oh no, there's definitely copyrighted music on this sucker. See, I think the microphone's going to cut a lot of this sound out, whereas the camera's actually going to pick it up, but yeah, that's going to be tricky. And I don't like tricky.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is proof. Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, I literally no idea whether you can hear any of that, but oh no! Copyright. Bad. But you can see it's putting a little bit more. It's at 7.4 watts. So it's telling me like about 4 hours 50. But we aren't in the game yet, so nah. Yeah, it's blurf. There you go. This one's under Duck Station. And it works bloody well. What do you say so? Just get in-game so we can have a little look. Don't care, don't care. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Don't care. Apparently one of them's got the title, so. Can I remember the controls on this one? This is the question. I haven't played this in years. No. We don't want any of that. Just on the off chance that the microphone picks it up. Perry Saturn. It's a sad story there. Meth addiction. Saving a woman from a mugger and getting shot. Oh dear. So as you can see, yeah, about 5 hours play on the old PlayStation. And to be fair, it looks... I want to use square to strike on this. And it's not square, it's X. You know, a little cuddle. Oh. Anyway, so... there we go. Oh, Christ, I'm getting all the way down to power. No, we don't want that yet. And just exit game, so confirm. So as you can see, depending on what game it is and what system you're emulating, you can get a pretty good performance battery-wise out of this. Now let's go to the cloud gaming. Now this one is a little bit tricky to set up. You do need to use the desktop to go in there. And basically you need to download the Microsoft Edge beta. It has to be the beta version apparently. And then you can basically set up using a few bits and bobs which actually Microsoft provided a tutorial to do, which is cool. And once that's all done and ready, and you've got it all done and dusted, you can play Xbox games. And it just basically opens up a browser and defaults to the Xbox page. You obviously have to sign in initially, but once you've signed in once, it does seem to remember it. And you can play it. I'm obviously doing Halo because obviously that's the game which people would probably be more interested in playing than like Fallout 3. Which, interestingly enough, I was playing Fallout 3 on this purely because I can't get the PC version to work. That's really jank. I spent about like an hour and a half trying, and it was just like noping me out, it were. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. So you can see we're pulling 8 at the moment. 8 to play. Back, I think. Keep sinking. I just want to play. Stop sinking. There we go. Close. Yeah, right, okay. New game, this is fine, difficulty. I would normally put it on easy because I'm a pussy, but we'll go with normal just for purposes of demonstration, yes? As you can see, it's not pulling much more than the emulation did, purely because it's not doing a whole bunch other than acting as a screen and a receiver. Yeah, there we go. I've got it so far away from me. You can probably see everything in the bloody reflection. Scene behind the scenes, the mystery's gone. Skip. Yep, definitely go. Here's my phone. Here's my face. Here's my mic. Skip. I'm trying to get us to some gameplay. Come on. So you can see it's going at 60 frames. Looks pretty good. I mean, the Switch. Peasantry. The Steam Deck screen is 1200 by 800. So it does sort of gain. Yes, I can't sort of switch. Can I? No. Yes. Well, I think points been proven. Yes, you can play Halo Infinite on the Steam Deck and get a reasonable 4.5 hours out of it, which isn't bad. Yes, I know. Look up. You want me to look down? Yes, I'm looking down. Oh god, it doesn't want me to use that, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay, good. I think that may need some tweaking. The controls are one of the things that's a bit, yeah, because you've got so many options on here. It basically picks a control option for what you're doing. Obviously, because it thinks it's running an internet browser, we'll probably have to do that manually, which is you are absolutely able to do. I've also noticed there's a few problems on some of the emulation, like Eternal Darkness on GameCube. It wants me to hold down the trigger to aim. It wants me to pick a body part with the right stick, and then it wants me to press a face button to shoot. So it's kind of like this going on. Not great, but it is all redefinable, and there are community done sort of templates you can just download. It's all very much like the Steam controller if you've ever used that. You just download, and you will have a fresh one to do everything with. So, although the battery is a problem, especially if you want to play your AAA games on the move, it's not terrible. The storage, 64 gigs, is nowhere near enough. The only thing I've got on there are the emulators and the ROMs. Everything else is on the SD card. And obviously the OS as well. The SD card I bought was half a terabyte, 512. And that cost about £70 for a sufficiently fast one, so that was quite expensive. You can get up to a terabyte, which will cost you in the region of 120 plus. But once you've got one, you know, it's hot swappable. So the games that I've got installed in this one, I can just pop it out, pop another one in if I want to spend more money, and install games on that one. And then once I'm done playing with those, I just swap them back, and then I've got the other ones and don't need to reinstall them or anything. So that's well done. I like that. That's a good idea when you're dealing with, I mean, even like the higher capacity versions of this, like the 512, that's still not enough in my book. I mean, it should have shipped with at least a terabyte. That's my personal opinion. But I mean, for what you're getting for £400, it's an amazing bargain. I've played this more than my PC since I've had it. I mean, okay, it's, when I say more than my PC, it is occasionally running stuff off of my PC, but I am still having a lot of fun with it. It's great for being in bed, which is good, because I was a little bit poorly and did decide that sitting in a chair was a bit too much hassle, so laid in bed and played this instead. So that was nice to do. Okay, let's go show you the desktop. I won't go too much into it because, for the pure reason, I have no idea about Linux. Linux is a complete fucking mystery to me, to be perfectly honest. I just want to show you it. There is one helpful thing I can tell you. During certain things you need to do in the course of your desktop, setting up, I think it was xCloud setup, for example, you had to come out of Steam. And if you come out of Steam, it changes slightly the way the controls work. So normally you just be like going around, left click, even though it's on the right, which is kind of weird. You don't think about that very much, do you? But it's like the left click should be over here, really, but this is your dominant hand, so it makes sense to put it on that one. So it's really right click, but it's not. But it's Linux, so it might be anyway. So yeah, you would just move around, click on here. If you close Steam, it takes a little while to work itself out, so it stops working for a few seconds, then comes back, and then your trigger buttons are your clickers, not these. Those don't work anymore. So if you're getting a bit of a tiz about that, that's why. So let's boot into the desktop. So power, and under there you can see switch to desktop. So we're switching to desktop. I really hope it removes those analytics, because I have no idea how to remove them on desktop. And there you go. You have a Linux desktop, which is working its shit out. There you go. These trackpads, they're not bad. I do have a slight problem. I find that they may be a little small, because like I've like clicked and dragged when I'm copying stuff off of a USB stick, which I had to get a converter for to fit in that top slot to put the ROMs on. I had problems like selecting everything without going off the edge of the pad. I think if you do it faster, then it goes further, but then you lose some of it's like getting used to it and working out where to stop, basically. But outside of that, it works well enough. I did notice that if you like, it's fine if you're doing like this and then clicking, but if you like put it on something and then click, it does tend to wander a little bit, and given the size of the screen, you kind of find yourself not clicking where you want to. I found that because like I like watching YouTube videos like while I'm cooking. So I thought, oh, I'll use the Steam Deck. It's got a bigger screen. I've just got it. We'll give it a try. So I did all that, logged into my YouTube account. But like maximizing the screen was a bit of a pain in the ass, because you'd be like, I'd have it down on the counter, which like this. So I'd be like, oh, okay, we'll just put it there, and then click, and it would just move just slightly and wouldn't actually activate what I wanted it to do. So that's a little bit of an annoyance, but I mean, it's a handheld. It's a handheld that costs 400 quid. And it's doing better than the handheld PCs you can get that are like 1400 or more. I mean, it will actually beat those things in frame rate as well. You can see you've got an update thing down here. Where it's fetching updates. It told me I had them. It's probably for the emulators. Yeah, there you go. So it's got an update for there and there's and there. So there you go. You can update all from there. Linux itself is, as I say, a complete mystery. I don't know why they use so many bloody dashes in their file names. But it works fine. I mean, outside of the battery life, not being able to run all of your Steam games just off of this, I can't really find anything to moan about. I mean, the controls look like they're too far away, like too far off the center of the console. You'd be like, oh, those could be uncomfortable. They're really not. They are super comfortable. You do have, I think the bumpers are maybe a little bit high. The triggers feel great. The buttons feel great. Both the sticks are excellent. And the D-pad is pretty good. You do have, just turn her over. We do have 4 buttons on the back as well, which are obviously remappable. Most stuff doesn't use it, which is good because you will find that as you hold it, you will end up clicking them by accident. So that is my review of the Steam Deck. I need to finish up because my phone is almost out of capacity. Jesus. So, in conclusion, it's a great bit of kit that really should cost more. You can do a ton of stuff with it. Yes, the battery life isn't perfect. Yes, I would have liked more internal storage, and yes, I would have liked bigger trackpads. But for the price and for what it does, it really almost becomes more than just a convenience, which is what I viewed it as initially. When I first thought, I was just like, oh, I've got the PC and I can like use my Switch if I want to go out, and it's not really something I'm going to need. It'd be a nice thing to have, but I don't really need it. Well, I've literally sat in front of my PC and played this. That is literally what I've done. It's almost to the point where I'd say it's more than just a convenience. It's actually something I would really, really regret not having. So the fact that I've had a mate that just gave me one was just mind-blowing in the first place, and really appreciate it because I'm having so much fun with it. And it does run Lord of the Rings The Third Age, in case you wanted to know, and it runs it bloody white. In fact, it runs it better than my desktop does on the same emulator. Go figure that one. I guess it's because I'm trying to crank it to 1440p on my desktop rather than like 800p or 720 on this. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. I mean, yes, you can do all the things it does on other things, but not necessarily on a mobile platform at this price. I think is what it comes down to. If you have long train journeys or stay away a lot, I would highly recommend getting one of these. It's just the only thing you're going to need in your pocket. Well, in obviously your phone as well, because you may need to get calls and text and things. But outside of that, only entertainment device you'll need. If you buy a hub to go with it, you can take it to your hotel room and just hook it up to the TV there and do everything you need to do on your TV. That's something I've not tried because I don't have a hub, nor do I have anything that can go from USB-C to HDMI. So, sorry, can't tell you about that, but certainly as a handheld product, I would highly recommend it. £400 is insane for what you're getting, even if you have to spend an extra $70 on the memory card, which I would highly recommend you do. Really. So anyway, guys, that's me waffling on about the Steam Deck for altogether far too long. Let me know if you've gotten your hands on one down below and what you think about it. Once again, thank you for Bungle for making this video possible. Bloody focus. And just, yeah, highly recommend if you can afford it. If not, you do have other things that will take its place, just perhaps not as conveniently or in handheld form. Anyway guys, take it easy and catch you next time.